Hey, Coach. Thank you for joining me in today's sit-down interview. I know you just got the position as an intern coach last year. I know you're an assistant coach. Now, you took over as a head coach last fall. How do you feel about that adjustment, becoming the assistant coach to the head coach? How do you feel about that?
Well, number one, super excited about getting the opportunity to run the program. I thank Coach Bates for that opportunity. He's given me a year to basically get our recruits out there, get the kids out, make people aware of the GSU golf program, and basically a little behind the eight ball getting started, but we're moving forward. We became a member of the CCAC conference, which gives me a great recruiting tool. So basically, at this point, I am the only coach for men and women's, and then as we grow, then they'll bring in an assistant to help me out.
That's pretty cool. Golf is probably like the oldest sports that's been around since the 1500s. Compared to the new millennium now, compared to back then, has golf evolved and changed since the beginning of time to now of golf?
Well, the beauty of golf, and I think people are starting to realize it, and I sort of think like, players like, Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus and now Mr. Spieth is, they're getting more media coverage. People are seeing it more on TV. Golf sort of used to be a little bit of an elite sport to some extent, but, with First Tee coming out in the last decade, you're starting to see more and more middle income, lower income people take the game up. Maybe not as their main sport, but as a second sport. And what you're seeing now is golf was one of the fastest growing sports, at least on the high school and intercollegiate level. Now it's sort of leveled off a little bit. But number one, it's once players start to play golf, it's one of those sports you get hooked on it, you fall in love with it, and it's a game that you play until you can't walk anymore.
I know, you have a background of coaching. I know you played basketball in high school. We had a little conversation before the interview started. What made you start, coaching golf?
Well, long story short is I'm a third generation college golfer. My dad actually played basketball and golf at the University of Richmond. He went to Thornton High School originally, and after he served in the military a couple of years, went to junior college, he had an opportunity. So my dad played college golf and basketball at the University of Richmond. And so as a young kid growing up with my other two brothers, we were introduced to the game. Plus I caddied for about 8 years, and my middle brother actually got an Evans scholarship. So golf has been part of our family for years. And then when I went to high school, we didn't have a golf team, but we had a golf club. I always played golf. And then in college, I had a basketball scholarship at IIT, and they had a golf team. So it was a natural thing for me was to play golf and basketball at IIT. So I got exposed to college golf there. And then played golf throughout my youth, and then my kids played, both my kids played college golf. My daughter played NCAA Division III. She was a Division III All-American. And my son played golf down at Eckerd College in Florida, and then he finished up his last year at Chicago State University. So as a golf parent, I followed my kids. And then also in 2006, I invested in a golf course in the area called Lincoln Oaks. So I'm around golf every day now. I love the game, love the people that are involved. And once my kids both got out of college, I wanted to get back in coaching, and I was given the opportunity to be an assistant here at GSU, which was a great opportunity, to get involved. And then with the previous coach taking another job elsewhere. I was sort of thrown into the fire, and I'm just super excited about bringing the Jaguar program from its infancy to a program that's going to recruit good student athletes and be competitive in the golf arena in the area.
That's pretty good. Overall, like, as a viewer, like some people probably never seen golf play, probably don't know the rules of golf. Can you break down a typical practice in golf?
Well, golf is one of the few sports where kids can practice on their own. It's an individual sport, but you play on a team. So, kids can putt in their living room, they can chip, they can hit golf balls. Your successful golfers, will practice 2 to 3 hours a day, hitting golf balls, playing, chipping, putting. It's just like any other sport. Basketball, you got to shoot the ball, go out to the park and shoot. Soccer, you kick the ball around. Golf, you're chipping, you're putting, you're going to the driving range. So, because the golf season is very condensed, we'll play 14 tournaments a season, 5 or 6 in the fall and another 6 or 7 in the spring. But because of the weather in the north, you're fitting, the fall season's fit in about 2 months and the spring season's fit into a month. So once the season starts, you're basically playing, twice a week, and they're all-day tournaments. So, you're practicing twice a week, and you're probably practicing another 2 days on your own. But, we do have formal practices, but because our tournaments are generally, run from 9 in the morning till 5, 6 at night by the time you drive to a tournament, play, come back. So, the tournaments themselves are very time-fulfilling. So a lot of your practice is done in the off season, because once the season's done, you got 30 to 45 days to, move along and get your season in and get better.
I know like each program has their own philosophy like dealing with student athletes. What is your philosophy in dealing with student athletes and an athlete?
Well, number one, playing intercollegiate athletics, there's a small percentage of kids that are able to do it, no matter what sport it is. Every kid I talk to, number one, if you don't get the grades, you can't play. Academics are extremely important to me, because let's face reality, the odds of somebody coming through a local college around here and playing professional golf the percentages are extremely low. But, college sports, it's a way, number one, our golfers are on some type of scholarship, not full scholarship, but they do get money, to participate in the sport. But golf just opens up so many doors, and that's what I try to explain to my recruits, is that when you come to GSU, we're going to play in good tournaments. We're going to play a nice schedule. I'm a player's coach. I give my kids a lot of opportunities to play different courses in the area with my connections. But when you graduate from here, be it you go on to grad school or you go in the work world, when that employer or that school sees that, hey, Adam played golf, it's one of those few sports where people will look and say, man, if that guy could play college golf, that means, he probably works pretty hard at whatever he does. And I just know through my own kids, it opened quite a few doors for them, as now they're not collegiate golf, they're alumni of their institutions, but they both went on to grad school and they both have gone on to got pretty good jobs. And that's what I'm hoping that will happen with my recruits over here at GSU, is get them into the program, be competitive, have an enjoyable experience playing golf, and then hopefully it'll open doors for them to be successful citizens in this world.
Great. Season 1 is done. I'm gonna give you a scale 1 through 10. What do you rate yourself as a coaching? Like what did you give yourself 1 through 10 as a coach, as a job overall?
Well, unfortunately, season 1 is not done. Golf is a fall and a spring sport. So the national tournament is played in the spring.
Okay.
But we tend to play more tournaments in the fall because the weather's better.
Okay.
So unfortunately, with our first year, we were a little undermanned with 3 male golfers and 2 female golfers. And I have a new recruit joining us in the spring here, and he's enrolled. So our first, we played in 5 tournaments. Had 2 golfers that were very competitive. My third just didn't develop where he needed to be. I have 2 female golfers, but with the program being in its infancy, we're really, I'm gearing more for 2016 and 17, but we do have our second half of the season coming up. And like I said, my number 1 and 2 golfer and Josh Crosby, my new transfer that's coming in, are all very good NIA golfers and should shoot in the 70s and be very competitive. So looking forward to getting my men's team, getting the word on the street that, we have a decent team, decent kids, but more important is my golfers are very good students. 3 of my kids came in with 4.0, and my 4th golfer was a 3.2. So very proud of that aspect, and that they were able to, juggle their schedules and not only get good grades, but fairly competitive in the golf arena. So, like I said, our season, we'll play in 5 to 6 tournaments this spring with the boys, and 2 to 3 tournaments with the girls. So we're at the halfway mark of the first season.
Okay, so from 5 years, 10 years, 15 down the road, for dealing with government state sports, where do you see this program is heading? Where would you put them in a 5, 10, 15-year span? Well,
like any business or any sports program, it's going to take a couple years to grow. And especially with governors not only becoming a 4-year institution and starting their sports program. So it's a little bit of a double whammy. So right now, my goal is to bring in a little mixture, mostly freshmen next year, maybe a couple transfers. But I'm looking at basically about 3 years. I want to be able to be in the middle of the CCAC, which is probably one of the strongest NAIA sports conferences in the country. So if we can get into the middle of that pack within the first couple of years, that'll be great. And then I'm gathering by about year 4 and 5. I really expect to get a team to the national tournament. Okay. But it won't happen overnight. But I'm gathering within 4 to 5 years. People will know us on the golf map.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Great.
Have a great day.
Okay.